I used to love camping alone. The silence, the space, the way the trees swallowed every sound. But after that night, I can't even stand the sound of wind through the branches. It was September 2020. I'd driven deep into the national forest. No signal, no cars, nothing but miles of black pines. I set up camp by a dry creek bed and lit a fire. To keep myself company, I recorded a voice log on my phone. I used to do that for my nature podcast. September 12th, 10:04 p.m. Fire's going strong. No sounds tonight. Even the crickets are quiet. I remember saying that line, because a few seconds later, something in the dark repeated it. Exactly. Same voice, same tone. Like an echo, only it came from behind me. I turned off the recorder, thinking it glitched. But then the fire flickered, and I heard breathing. Fire's going strong. No sounds tonight. My phone was on the ground, screen black. The voice wasn't from the device. It was outside the firelight. I took my flashlight and pointed it toward the creek. Something was standing there. Not moving, just mimicking me. It tilted its head slowly. Every time I did, it copied. Then it smiled. Not a normal smile, the kind that stretches too wide, too still. It whispered again, with my exact voice. Don't stop recording. I dropped the phone and ran into the trees, but the forest was dead silent, not even wind. And somewhere behind me, the same voice yelled, "Wait, come back. I'm not done recording." I made it back to the road at dawn. Never went back for my gear. A few weeks later, park rangers found my camp. Everything burned. The tent, the clothes, even the metal from the chair, melted. But the phone was still there. When they turned it on, they found one last recording. Timestamp, 2:41 a.m., hours after I ran. The clip was 7 seconds long. My voice whispering, "You shouldn't have left me here." They said the fire started by itself, but I've heard the recording, and it's still going.
My name is Aaron Mitchell. This happened in the fall of 2016 in the National Forest near Oregon. I wasn't supposed to be there alone, but after a fight with my brother, I left the camp to clear my head. It was around 9 p.m. when I realized I had no idea where the trail was anymore. The forest was dense, the kind where even your flashlight looks weak. I kept walking, hoping to hear the river, but all I heard was something walking with me. At first I thought it was an echo. Then the steps stopped when I stopped. Started again when I did. After about an hour, I saw something ahead. A wooden structure. Looked like an old forest cabin, abandoned. The door was open just enough for the wind to push it, creaking slowly. Inside, everything smelled of dirt and rot. I found an old ranger's notebook on the floor. Last entry read, "It speaks in your voice. Don't answer." The words didn't make sense until I heard it from outside the cabin. "Aaron." It was my voice, exact tone, exact pitch, calling from the woods. "Aaron's this way." I backed away from the door, shaking. The voice came closer, clearer, as if someone had a recorder playing it. Then it said something I never told anyone. "You left him to die." My knees buckled. That was about my brother. The thing outside, It knew. I hid under the old table, covering my mouth. Through a crack in the wall, I saw it move between the trees, tall, wrong-shaped, bending at the joints like it was built wrong. And then I saw its face. It wasn't human. It was wearing mine. A pale version of my face, stretched, expressionless, like someone printed it on skin. It crouched, looking directly at the cabin, and whispered again, this time from right beside the window. "Aaron, open the door." I ran, through the trees, down the slope until I hit the riverbank. I didn't stop running until the forest opened into a road. A ranger truck picked me up around 4 a.m. They said there's no cabin on any map where I described it. Just a patch of burned ground from a fire 20 years ago. They found a melted radio there, still transmitting. And sometimes, on that same frequency, they say you can hear someone whisper a name. The forest doesn't want to hurt you. It just wants to remember you.
My name is David Hall, and for 12 years I worked as a park ranger at Black Pine National Forest. People think the woods are peaceful. Haha, they're not. They're alive, and sometimes they watch back. It was my last shift before transferring out. November 2019. The forest was dead quiet that night. No campers, no movement, just the wind cutting through the pines. I remember telling dispatch I'd do one last perimeter sweep. At 1:46 a.m., my radio cracked.
Unit 7, you out there?
Copy. Who is this?
You shouldn't be alone tonight.
I froze. The voice didn't belong to anyone on duty, and the channel was encrypted, internal only. When I reached the northern ridge, my flashlight caught something in the distance. A tent, but there were no camping permits issued that week. I approached slowly. Inside were footprints, torn blankets, and a small cassette recorder. When I pressed play, I heard breathing. Then a man's whisper.
"He's wearing your uniform."
I turned around. Nothing. Except 50 meters away, someone was standing among the trees, wearing a ranger jacket. Same patch, same badge, but I was the only ranger on shift. When I called out, the figure turned and disappeared deeper into the woods. I followed the tracks until I reached the edge of the ravine. The snow was untouched, except for one thing. A set of footprints leading toward me. Not away, toward, and they stopped right where I was standing. Then my radio came alive again.
Unit 7, return to base. You're not on tonight's roster.
I looked at my badge. It was old, rusty. The number read 7. I quit the next morning, but every now and then, when the wind hits the pines just right, I still hear the radio crackle.
Unit 7, copy.
If you ever camp in Black Pine and hear someone call your name on the ranger channel, don't answer.